Welcome to the Emerging Entrepreneur Series at the Coffee Conversation show powered by the Emerging India Forum, TIF, and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Today's theme is wealth creation through art. We are at Aura Art Gallery and we have with us Rishiraj Sethi, the director of Aura Art Development Private Limited. Rishi has started his journey in taxation and finance, and now he co-founded Aura Art in year 2008, aiming to revolutionize India's art market by integrating his financial expertise with a deep appreciation for artistic expression. So, Rishi, welcome to today's special Coffee Conversation episode.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Ibrani, your host and director and legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution. So, Rishi, just want to explain you the format. We divide into three parts. One is professional, second personal, and third is a surprise rapid fire. If you answer questions properly and fast, you get this ebook.
Wow. That's great.
So
I'll aim for that.
Yeah, I'm an author of 12 books. So, friends, this is a new concept we have started, a rapid fire, and the speaker who answers very well, fast, wittily, he gets the gift. So, Rishi, let's begin. So, Rishi, we are members of IBG, and when I first met you, I wondered what a CA and a CFA is doing in the field of art. Can you share about your transition from taxation, finance to this art industry? What got you changed from money to a creative art field?
No, no, I'm glad you raised this point on the upfront. As they say, the more things change, the more they remain the same. And I didn't want to escape my past for sure. I loved my career in Arthur Andersen in tax and then transitioning to Ernst & Young in the corporate finance practice. But at the same time, I was always interested in managing wealth uh, for the family and for clients, and to build a vertical which is aligned to the wealth creation that was to happen in India and will continue to happen for the foreseeable future. Uh, and therefore, I had also done my CFA immediately after my CA. And the family itself was, my father had been collecting art and promoting art, and brother Harmeet also equally carried that mantle forward. And we realized that art itself will be a very significant part of HNI wealth as the economy grows. And there is a need for a platform that will combine finance knowledge, tax knowledge, art knowledge to actually manage this wealth and make it grow. And therefore, while seems to be a lot of change, but when we continue our discussion, you'll see that I've circled back to many of the offerings that I was doing in the past.
Yes, I
Taxation
know.
deals, art deals are a lot like investment banking deals I used to do. We manage collector books, and there are a lot of tax and legal issues related to that.
Yes.
And art is fortunately as much about money as it is about creativity.
Very good, very good. So now, Rishi, the story behind naming your this venture, Aura Art. Uh, what what is the story and why this? Because this name has got a very depth name, and who inspired you to give this name of Aura Art, and how the journey has been till date?
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad nobody's asked this question. I've been waiting to answer this for the longest period. Is so aura, as you understand, is the body beyond the physical body.
Yes.
You can very broadly call it the spiritual field,
Yes.
energy field around the human body. Uh, and therefore, there were two manifests of calling our venture, our company, our institution, or art. One was that we said that art has a spiritual dimension and it exudes energy.
Very good.
It is not a static object that is just sitting on the wall, but there's an energy exchange between an artist and the artwork and a buyer.
Wow.
And therefore, in addition to that, we have a very high focus towards spiritual and religious art. We think that is the largest export to the world from India, and art manifests that better than anything else. Lastly, we felt that the Art institution will ring fence or circle the whole art market at one point in time. So we called our venture initially Aura of Indian Art. that we are the body that holds the Indian art market together. And then we shortened it to Aura Art from a brand point of view. And the more we look at it, even 16 or 15 years into the journey, the brand was built on 6 incidentally. So it's a good 18 years into the journey. We marvel at the brand. Even now, it still is as interesting and engaging to us and to the world as a brand.
That's very interesting story behind Aura Art. Very impressed. You have kept deep into spirituality and bringing artist and the energy exchange, which we have thought that is very, very deep impact. And friends, philosophy of Aura Art is very beautiful. I am very touched. So continue conversation, Rishi. You're focusing on paintings and different arts. So what are the parameters you go beyond? Sorry, you go into selecting an artist.
Very nice. So that role, fortunately, was played initially by my father, Daljit Singh Ji Sethi, and then my brother, as I said, took on that learning forward. Harmeet was based in Baroda for the longest period of time before moving to Bombay. Uh, so that role, as I said, that is their domain. Uh, Intrinsically, what they are trying to do, or what we are trying to do as creating the magic of promoting art, is to find artists of caliber who are doing something which is very dynamic today, which will engage the audience. As I mentioned earlier, the energy exchange, I must confess, is a recent term which I heard very beautifully. Architect Pinakin Patel had a talk at a Pandol auction house on the Sunday, and he mentioned this, and that thought totally clung. But what we were also always calling it a resonance and a transmission. I follow a spiritual organization, Heartfulness, which we'll come to later. So there's a transmission that the artist does into a work, which later gets retransmitted to the right buyer who has the right frequency with the work. So we had to, so therefore it's a soft dimension, but to build a financial plan around it, you need to be able to project the artist's ability to create wonder in the audience today
Yeah.
and to create wonder in the audience tomorrow by creating a signature language and a very unique work or a unique rendition of a particular work. So I think that is the magic. Let's, if you were to even start with the painting that we are seeing here, an artist, Vrindavan Solanki, one of our favorite artists from Ahmedabad. I mean, our favorite artist of our art in the world. He is from Ahmedabad. Uh, and the way he has kept the chemistry between the Saurashtra couple is beautiful. And then again, the spiritual dimension in a very simple subject also, by making the two faceless, the husband and wife. And what he is trying to do in that facelessness, which is like creating a divine aura, is that he's saying that when we interact with multiple people at different points in time, we carry different personalities or different masks.
Yes.
But when we're with our beloved, we become our true nature. The beloved could be husband, wife, mother, child, guru, disciple. We drop all our masks and become our true form, which is faceless. So imagine in a perceived to be simple subject, he has created a magical moment by creating this facelessness. And now he is 1942 born. He's 81-year-old now. He started painting 60 years back when realism was the norm, and he broke away from that with a black and white work, which we'll see as well. But the facelessness adds the new charm in this case, and this color series, that is a new series, is again very interesting.
Very interesting about this. I wanted to talk about this painting, but you, in your conversation, you beautifully explained. Uh, Now, my next question will be you deal in art, and there are cases of fake paintings. So, how do you protect or educate the buyer as well as yourself? You're getting authentic paintings, and is there anything like engraving, hologram, something like that, which you put on the painting, something, and any courses are there for uh, an individual to understand okay, why he's buying this painting, art appreciation. So let's hear.
Sure. I think there are two, three layers in your question. I take the
Yeah.
toughest layer first to answer, which is on the authentication piece. It's a large enough problem. I think the industry probably has not understood the magnitude and the depth of the problem, and clearly doesn't have the right systems in place to solve it in the larger scheme of things. So let's break the market into two parts. One is the primary market, one is the secondary art market. The primary market is the market which is where a work is sold by a gallery directly from an artist studio, picked up from an artist studio and sold for the first time to a first time buyer. The name primary market can be related to an IPO of a company selling stock for the first time. So, in that case, it is much easier to understand authenticity because the artist is there, he is issuing the work, he is issuing a certificate along with it. The gallery probably is building a catalog, doing a physical show, and then selling the work. Very, I would say, zero risk in that from an authenticity point of view.
Okay.
Then comes the next dimension, which is the secondary art market, where a work which has sold in a gallery show in 1970, 80, for example, is now coming back for resale 40, 50 years later. And at that time, the record system was weak, transactions were not well documented. So, ideally, you should have what is called a provenance, which in a equivalent industry, if I would take the real estate industry, it is the chain of ownership of the piece of land, which we often refer as a satbara, and we do a 30-year title search before we were to acquire a property. That luxury doesn't exist in the art market because earlier transactions were not well documented, and very often they were for very low sums of money and exchange in cash, not necessarily unaccounted cash, but the values are so small that if somebody even withdrew the money from the bank and gave it to an artist or a gallery at that time, he didn't receipt it, he didn't put it in his books, in his balance sheet. Not knowing in hindsight that this art will become 100, 500 times, 1000 times in value 50 years later. And therefore, the lack of the trail makes provenance very difficult to establish and to authenticate or to gauge the veracity of the provenance. And therefore, you need to work on authentication, the word which I used in the wrong context a minute back. Authentication of art then becomes more important, which means that the painting and the related circumstances or documents that may support that have to talk about its originality.
Very true.
That process needs a lot of tech and other interventions, which the industry is not entirely geared up for as yet. And that's a discussion which you can have for another day.
Yes. Uh, so now my next question will be, uh, you have started different publications on valuation of art, managing tax risk. So that's very impressive. So what made you go besides selling art, sculptures, now getting in the field of education and making awareness? So what inspired you going into this niche area?
Correct. I just remember that I have not answered the second leg of your first earlier
Yeah,
question as
art
well. Art
appreciation
appreciation.
and
Yes, and
education.
education. Correct. It just reminded me I have not answered that. And also a reminder to you to ask only one question at a time and not two. I'm a slow learner. Yes. So the first part was uh, on appreciation. We felt that the art market, not we felt, it is common knowledge that the art market was very polarized towards, concentrated towards South Bombay, uh, thanks to the establishment of Jahangir Art Gallery and the entire art circuit of galleries around it, the Kalagoda circuit to the
Yeah,
Kolaba
Kalaba,
circuit.
Kolaba. Yeah,
Uh,
Kolaba.
and therefore, the art buyer, the inhabitants of that area, I would say a 5 kilometer radius of Jahangir Art Gallery, have been supporting the art market for the last 70 years, and we owe a lot to them.
Wow.
The downside has been obviously that, let's say we are from the suburbs, Jew scheme boys, Jamnaba NM prodigies, and I say with great seriousness and jokingly that when our friends in South Bombay were attending Jagirat Gallery, we were going to Jew Beach and having Kalagata Gola. So there was a difference in understanding and appreciation of art. There is a lack of a museum going culture, etc. So there is no automatic way in which somebody will experience art or start understanding art. There are not enough formal courses of content, of great content. I myself attended a course when I had to transition from my earlier role to this role, and I found those courses were not up giving me enough content to really understand art deeply, or they were not interesting enough. So that is missing. The only way is to start the journey is to come to galleries, attend shows, and then start the collection journey with some guidance, which will mean there. And very often that trigger is when a person is doing up their home and going through an architect or designer, coming to a gallery and getting good guidance. Second part of your question then comes is, if you can just recap that.
Art appreciation.
Art appreciation we've covered.
Okay.
The second
Awareness you
awareness,
covered.
Hanji.
But I'd like to add there have been certain walk tours being organized by
Oh, your question was
art.
on reports. Sorry, your question
Yeah.
was on reports now. Coming back to the reports that we wrote, art taxation and art
This is
valuation.
there. I just wanted to share something. I've gone for various art walks being organized by this, what do you say, art lovers in this area which you told, Kolaba. I've
Correct.
gone to different galleries in Kolaba. I've gone to Jahangir Art Gallery. Then I've in Kalagoda, so many. Then I've been to a couple of art exhibition, Simrosa. Now coming over here and we'll be going to our art gallery. So this there are art lovers which on Instagram they what do you say advertise about this walk tours which happens monthly
Correct.
or weekly. They have on Instagram pages they advertise and I've seen what do you say people come in around 50 to 100 for such walks.
Correct.
That is, so you can also think on those levels of organizing art walks.
Absolutely, absolutely. What we do is we obviously our shows are well attended, and you'll have like a good 50,
I've
100
attended a couple of your shows.
in those.
Yeah.
We have obviously, fortunately, this space is used more as a meeting by appointment space. So we have, we would cover a couple of meetings a day, and that becomes engagement. Then we present a lot to wealth managers, architects, and larger audiences, whether it's Rotary or other clubs. So just yesterday, I presented to the leadership team of Axis Bank, Wealth Management, and the like. And that's how we do the engagement. And then from then we felt that when a person is engaging with art, one is to create the awareness on appreciation art. Second is to understand why certain artists are valuable and why some are less. Because one is to say, okay, I like this art and I want to buy it. Then to start understanding, okay, what I like is worth 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 50 lakh, 5 crores. What justifies this being so expensive?
Yes.
And to make that understanding more prevalent is where we were proud to have co-authored a report with Ernst & Young in December 2017 on the science behind valuing art. And then because there are taxation and other issues intertwined with owning art, buying, selling, etc. And that again, while the professional community, the chartered accountants are extremely smart in the taxation framework of the industry of any transaction, they were not very familiar with the art specific issues. And collectors were also forgetting some of these points, not being flagged to them in a very flashed to them in a very pragmatic way. Therefore, we did a report with Ernst & Young on art tax in 2018, which is the tax considerations for collectors, so that the collection journey is well guided through thought leadership and through proper framework, which gives them more confidence to participate in a bigger way.
That's very interesting. With your background of from finance, taxation, working at different levels, and your passion, I can see. कि भाई, that's why the theme itself is wealth creation through art, which we are very fortunate to having this conversation. So now coming to this next question is you're working towards encouraging HNIs to become an art collector and adding like gold they go for gold, they go for jewelry, so many things for different classes of asset building, like buying second home flats, then mutual funds, so many things. But now with your efforts you're building up by let's invest in art that also brings up a valuation as a value to your asset collection. So in that direction you start this thing of this AIAI, that is IMA or Art Indian Art Index, which is like a commodity index. So, what inspired you to start in this, and what do you see by the future of this index and the Indian art market?
Wonderful. Again, too many questions in one. That's fine. So,
I'm sorry because
no,
this
you're more prepared than
your
I would like you to be. That's fine. That's a good thing.
because this is the
Yes.
first time I'm doing this type of conversation, which is
No, no, I'm glad. I'm glad.
interesting.
So,
And my
the
brother was an artist.
oh, lovely. Was in the sense?
He's no more.
Please no more. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so he was into paintings and all those things. So just those memories are being flashed. He would have
Glad.
loved to have this conversation more than me.
No, no, I'm sorry. It's my loss not to have him here. Great. So coming back to, I'll end the answer with the IMA index, art index.
Yeah.
So, as you rightly said, art is an asset class globally for the longest period of time.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
probably one of the oldest recognized asset classes, which is more than 500-year-old in the international context. To give you an idea of the depth and the longevity of the art trade, Sotheby's, Christie's, which are the world leaders even
Yes.
today as a duopoly controlling the auction market in art, are 250-year plus old institutions. They are created in 1744, 1766. I can lay a bet that no other industry has a situation where for 250 years a player has survived, flourished, and sort of maintained a duopoly. I'm not sure the last part is a good thing. Uh, but it shows the robustness and the longevity. And
Yes.
therefore, art has been a wealth creator, and there are many instances of that. As I said, again, it's a branch out into a longer discussion, but from the way the Rothschild family treats art, one third allocation, to Deutsche Bank having 60,000 works in their balance sheet, to a British Rail pension fund allocating art portfolio to art 3% for 25 years and getting a superior return. There are so many international backdrops to suggest art is a great wealth creator. There's also a meme versus art index set up by a US and a Japanese professor in 2001, which is back tested from 1875, which gives you a direction of the art market. And an index was interestingly acquired by Sotheby's in 2016, which I said is the oldest player in the world. We felt in India there was a misunderstanding of the wealth creation potential in art. While art prices have gone up, everybody in the art market knows that they constantly go up. Art has never really looked back globally for 250 years, uh, and in India for the last 70 years, prices of good quality art have only gone up. But the art funds that came 10 years back did not end well for various reasons, and that created a bit of a lack of confidence on this asset class uh, in the people who are researching it purely as an investment. We've never felt that we should commoditize art into a pure investment like any other, because there are so many other good investments to participate in. At the same time, nobody can take away the quality of art to grow in value, because good quality art will only be scarce. And as the artist gets promoted, more and more buyers will want to participate in it. So, with the specific, just general economic principles will tell you that more demand, less supply will inflate the prices. So we wanted the industry to understand the long-term trend in the art market being positive. For that, we started a report called Art Trends First, which we made a new highs line, which was a line that mapped every time the Indian and the international art market hit a new high as a market as a whole. So from the first $1 million painting to $400 million painting over 56 years showed a 10% CAGR in the global context. In India, from the first 10 lakh painting in 1992 of Amrita Shergill to incidentally, life has come back full circle where 2023 again the highest Indian art is Amrita Shergill, from 10 lakh to 63 crores in this period is again at 17-18% CAGR, which is phenomenal on a compounded basis. So we built the art trend line first, the new highs line, and then we were fortunate that IIM Ahmedabad got familiar with our research and the amount of data that we had in the art market, having data of all Indian art auctioned anywhere in the world last 20 years. We had our own valuation tool that helps us juggle the data. We understood the factors that contribute to art valuation, which came out of the EY report again. And Professor Prashant Das from IIM Ahmedabad, who was looking at the real estate finance faculty and very, very erudite there, and he's already been to index for land prices before this, approached us, and we were fortunate to shake hands with them and build the IIM Ahmedabad Aura Art Indian Art Index, which is called IAIAI, which again was a dream launched and the Bombay Stock Exchange trading ring in 1.5 years back in November 22. So that was a great culmination to our journey to establish the veracity of the long-term uptrend in the art market and to give a direction to common people about the art movements. It is not tradable. We have no aspiration to financialize the art market. Somebody else can, and other products will come around it. We are happy to lay the foundation for that for others to play.
It's very interesting working with IMA. So now let's continue the conversation. Um, how is the Indian corporates, like we see there's certain corporates who promote art or certain artists. So now in the Indian corporate, how is their take for this art industry?
Yes. So, incidentally, the corporate patronage in art has a reverse history where there was very strong patronage in the past, starting with the Tata Group, which has been the biggest benefactor of the art market. To and they also at one point owned Air India. Air India has a lovely collection to all the hotel properties that they have to the offices. The Godrej family has been a great patron of art. The Birla family has been a great patron of art. So all the old families uh, and promoter-driven families, corporate groups were buying a lot of art to support the art market. Prices were very low that time. Art did not have enough patronage, and they filled that void very beautifully. Fortunately for them, that art has grown phenomenally in value. So there's a great case study for other corporates to follow through. But then in the transition, the art market getting more expensive and getting more challenging to participate in, it has now become a more promoter aspiration, where the promoter buys art in personal books or in the company books. Again, with the purpose of enjoying it, building the brand, using it as a for corporate interiors as well as a strategy of a treasury strategy for the long run. And some corporate houses are also buying art, but then the view is more to decorate the wall, which is very important because they feel it creates great employee motivation and also represents the brand of the company to the visitors that come. So they're buying great art. And when guided on the understanding of the art market growth, they're also looking at a sort of a treasury allocation. But that I think is a trend that's reduced. Promoters are much more enthusiastic now of buying art, very often in their personal investment companies or in their through their family offices. And some corporates are increasingly looking at art, but that trend I think is going to grow a lot in the next 10 years. And then the museum culture will also sort of accentuate that trend.
That's very interesting. Let's continue the conversation about we've seen different art galleries playing a significant role. If there were not art galleries, so how would an artist or someone like a promoter like you, who would promote an artist? So what are different? I'm dividing my question in two parts. If art gallery is not there, so what are the different options? Second is, what are the different marketing channels you use for promoting art?
Okay. So I can't imagine an art industry without art galleries because that's the primary market, right? So the primary market needs walls for display. It needs a lot more than just walls. The energy of the gallery to actually promote the story behind the art and to bring in the audience to constantly capitalize or participate in that story. So the gallery is two fundamental institution for the art industry. Galleries again are of two types. I give a lot of credit to Jahangir Art Gallery as an open institution, which is not owned by a private agency. It's a private foundation at one point, which is sort of seeded that gallery. And any artist or gallery can book space and do their show. And it's very open because no buyer hesitates in going there, which is very interesting. Unfortunately, private galleries, it's very odd here. Normally, you would think that a private establishment is more open than a public establishment. Whereas in the art industry, while the culture may be equally open, buyers have an overhang. They feel very hesitant going into a private gallery. They feel they need to be invited, they need to be prepared in a particular way, they need to be dressed appropriately, they need to know a lot about art before they can go there. So a lot of inhibition in just walking into a private gallery, which I think is surprising. But the private gallery is trying to attract people at all points in time. But Jahangir, there's no inhibition. Fortunately, everybody is happy to go there. And therefore, you see a 7-year waiting now in Jahangir Art Gallery, which means that if today you're filling the form, you're getting a 2030 form, that probably you will get a gallery space in 2030 for a show.
Ooh.
So you can imagine the need for more galleries is there, and even public institutions like Jahangir had open format galleries.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, and then private galleries have to extend beyond South Bombay. So we've pushed the boundary at least till Worli, but you need to go to Bandra and Juhu and then tier 2 cities, etc. Because a
There are
lot of
no
demand is
galleries
going
in
there.
suburbs.
There's hardly any gallery of repute that is beyond Prabha Devi Worli, where we stand. Beyond that, there is nothing practically. So that's
That's very
sad for the
sad.
industry that we
So are
need to
you
expand that.
thinking? So
We
sorry
would
to
love
interrupt.
to. We obviously I said Juice boys, but I think there's enough. Actually, we have to be in the. We try to therefore be at the cusp of both the worlds. The
Yeah,
ceiling helps.
Worldly
Yes,
is.
the ceiling helps someone from
Yes.
Juhu Bandra to cross over
Yes.
and come here. Also, I think there's excitement for a Jew buyer to say, I'm buying from a Worldly gallery. I think that's a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Lastly, because we are covering primary market, secondary market, old buyers, new buyers, and our service business, etc. So we have to be close to South Bombay audience,
Yes.
but not very far for the North Bombay audience either. And
Very.
then a positive surprise that the tier 2 city, tier 3 city people are buying art in a big way. They
Wow.
need a lot of hand holding. They
Yeah.
fortunately, we do Zoom calls, video calls, and they come down to see the art to finalize. And people outside India, the NRI diaspora and international buyers are now jumping in the art market, Indian art market in a big way. So a lot of the business happens beyond the physical gallery, which is the next question. Whether it's Insta, whether it's Facebook, more importantly, it's a word of mouth, and the shows and the events create a particular momentum, an
Yes.
organic momentum,
Yes.
and those catalogs travel beyond our immediate database as well. And well satisfied clients are always happy to recommend others to us, and with that is the largest part of our growth comes through that repeat and customers and referrals from customers.
That's very true. Very true. I've seen a couple of hotels. They have got like Trident Hotel has got in-house galleries, so they keep paintings of different artists. So you should collaborate with hotels by they have got different spaces. Like if
Correct.
you go to this, there is an interconnection between Old Oberoi and New Oberoi.
Correct.
If you go
I
from
understand.
old,
Yes. Yes.
you must have seen that.
Correct.
So there are beautiful paintings. They keep spaces allocated over there, and
Yes.
different artists are there. So there is another option of collaboration with hotel industry.
No,
They've
absolutely,
got
very
various
right to
spaces
say.
over
Yes.
there.
So incidentally, in Bombay, the in the 80s and 90s again, the most prominent art gallery was the Taj Art Gallery.
Yes.
So clearly, I mean, I've not visited, I was not in the art scene that time. But I mean, I was too young to go to a gallery that time. But the point is that they were very, very active. The most important galleries was the Taj Gallery. Oberoi had a small gallery in the old wing, as you towards what you remember the AB and Ambrose side, the Sakari Bhavan side, the Kotak Dalamal side. That side had a small gallery, and the crossover had a gallery. Leela has a space like that in the suburbs. So many of the hotels have done that, which is great. Uh, Obviously, it's good to have, I would say, some sort of casual hobby art. I mean, earlier there was serious art there. Now it's sort of diminished to a little more decorative or younger artists who are being promoted there. Because art is obviously expensive and there's safekeeping required and other things
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
So clearly, you can't have a gallery run there permanently for of any important nature, but it's a great way to make art accessible to people who are staying there. So somebody should do it. I don't think everything we can do. It's a great initiative which should come back in a big way, and I'm sure others will be able to do more justice to that than we can.
Yes, yes. So friends, do come and collaborate with Rishi because he needs helping hands, and there is a lot of work to promote Indian artists and grow Indian art industry to an international level. So he is doing his remarkable work. So now my next question will be Rishi. Any memorable moments promoting a particular artist or different? I can see seeing so many sculptures, so many art pieces. So let's go in your uh, what do you say down memory lane.
Every show is special. Over the last 15 years, we are fortunate to have mounted nearly 60 shows, group and solo. Uh, my most special show, as I said, religion and spirituality matter a lot to us. So one of our most special shows I felt was the Krishna show that we did in Ahmedabad in February 2020, which was supposed to come to Bombay, and then the pandemic hit. And then the second, last show is always more special again. So last show that we did on Ramji, which opened in this space on Jan 19th, 3 days before the Pran Pratishtha at Ayodhya, was again a very special show because we felt that it is the best tribute that the art industry can pay to a civilizational moment
Yes,
that's
correct.
happened once in after nearly 500 years, and to be able to contribute in that uh, grand scheme of things, we were very, very fortunate and proud. We were probably that was the first show anywhere in the world of this nature, of this caliber and depth on a subject of Ramayana. And likewise, our Krishna show was something that we were very proud of. In between, all artist shows are special, all shows are special. Our first Jangir show on 13 was again special. But these two shows in our memory will always stand out as a great contribution towards furthering the understanding of religious art in a contemporary form.
That's wonderful. So, tell us something about your upcoming exhibitions. So, we would like to yeah, use this platform and tell us about your upcoming
Sure.
and which artists are
Our
you will be coming in that exhibition.
Yes, the next show will be a solo show of Tejinder Kanda, one of our favorite artists who works with the palette knife. When we take the walkthrough, we'll see his works as well.
Yes.
And he's launching a new abstract series,
Wow.
which is been we've been waiting for the longest time to lay our hands on that series and to launch it. That should happen around May 18th, 19th, again in this place at Art Gallery at Worli, just little less than a month away. And in that show, we'll also launch a new concept, which is the Aura Art Digest. Uh, uh, all our shows obviously rightly focus a lot on the art. The catalog of the show focuses on the art and then covers just a snapshot of our services. But I think collectors are much more keen to understand the art infrastructure solutions better. And then our reports, which are separate, collectors want to hold on to them, but they're not connected to the catalog. So what we're doing is now combining our thought leadership and an art show. So this Or Art Digest will cover the art index, which will cover the evolution of the art index and the 12-page white paper that Or Art and IIM Ahmedabad wrote together. That white paper has again not been printed and sent out. So that will be very interesting as content to hold on to forever. And at the same time, it will have a beautiful rendition of Tejinder Kanda's abstract works. So a person enjoys the art and also learns about the art market, and it becomes a book that he wants to hold on to for posterity.
That's very interesting. So, my next question will be impact of technology in the field of art promotion.
Technology is fantastic. As I said, art, people, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities want to buy art, people outside India want to buy art.
Yes.
It's not practical to keep moving the art around for them to see. Technology helps in them getting closer to the art and taking a decision from sending a photo, video to doing a video call to guide them, to make them feel, understand the nature of the art, the texture, etc. So that's very helpful. The second part is technology is even more helpful in solving the long-term authenticity and provenance of the art market. Whether it is building a blockchain like to establish the veracity or the sadbara of the art changes, whether it is using technology in terms of pigment evaluation and other tests on the art, on the signature of the art, on the age, on many other things. That's, I guess, a longer discussion, but a lot of, I think the art market is underexposed to technology, and that needs to change very dramatically if the art market has to stay relevant and important in times to come.
That's very interesting. So my next question will be someone who has built up a sizable art collection and he's preparing his will. So what are the formalities of uh, making part of his asset in the will? Can you just put
Yes.
shed some light? So that will be very helpful because this has become like an asset, the art.
Yes. No, no. It's what you've asked is actually one of the most important questions that is facing HNS today. The backdrop is what that the art has been bought by this. I'm just taking the name promoter in this context as the patron of the family, the who's bought art for the last 50, 70 years, the patriarch of the family, I meant, the family patriarch, who's built this collection for the last 50, 70 years. And as I mentioned earlier, the art bought 30, 40, 50 years back was never documented on the books. There was no wealth tax on art in India. It became a capital asset only from 2008. And then VAT in its earlier avatar only came in on art in 2008, which meant that before 2008, you could buy and sell art as a personal effect and not worry about any rigor of compliance. As a collector, as a dealer, you had to, if it was business income, it was separate. And therefore, most of the art is not reflected on the books. Now, when this family has going through either a separation or a person is making a will, unfortunately, with this art not being in the books, the CA, the lawyer, the family office, with all their best wisdom and interest in making a very robust framework for bequeathing, miss out on the art. So first, the collector now needs to document the collection, which is an offering that we've come up with finally. Finally, I'm saying because there's a lot of inertia not to do it because you have to go to clients' homes, offices across the country. It's very laborious, and we've
Yes.
not tried to monetize that vertical enough. It's more a service to the industry. So documenting the collection is very important as the first step, which then helps us in getting the data to value the collection. Only then can somebody break the assets judiciously between the family members. Assuming I just have these 100 paintings, I can't break that unless I understand these 100 paintings are worth 50 crore and this is worth 1 crore and 3 crore and 6 crores and 20 lakh. If I just break it physically, then I may just be doing disservice. And we've seen this problem happen where, with the best intentions, the family separation has factored in the art. And then 1 year later, the brothers have had a dispute where son got 10 crore worth of art, the other son got 30 crore worth of art. They were just living, art was in two different homes, and the homes got split and the art moved along with that, and not realizing that the value of the art was actually more than the value of the home. And when this realization stuck, then there was a dispute with the lawyers got to us to resolve. This is happening too often for us to like. uh, a movable asset, value not known, and now getting split in the family is a classic recipe for disaster unless properly ring fenced through
Yes.
a good documentation and valuation system. After which everything can fall in place. Once you got it valued, then you can do insurance. Once you do insurance, then you can do warehousing, safekeeping. All checks and balances follow documenting and valuing the collection.
Very true, very true. So beautifully, Rishiji has explained about documentation, insurance, and safekeeping. So that was good insights. And friends, focus on ethical wealth transfer. And you have got subject experts over here for related to art wealth. So my next question will be, Rishi, you have received awards like IBG Awards of Excellence and Indie Wood Business Excellence Award. How do these awards help in art promotion?
I just feel the words are very important for people to understand that there is art as a business which needs to be conducted in a ethical, transparent, and a professional manner, and that somebody is doing it, so that people who are looking at the art from outside understand the dimensions behind the art business, which helps them get more confidence. I think that's about it. The fact that a professional body is there in the industry gives them more confidence to participate in the industry. So we
Very
are not
true.
saying that it need to help us. It as long as anything that builds confidence in the art buying community is good for the industry, and therefore we're very happy to be part of that journey.
Very true. So we look forward to more such awards. And my next question, how does being part of networking forums like IBG and other forums help in your art industry?
Absolutely. So again, we've always feel, and therefore we very hesitant to be a insular gallery which is focusing only on the space. but rather we like to stay hungry, stay foolish, and be on the road to sort of coax people to participate in the art market. And therefore, being part of such forum helps to just be there where people are to make it more easier for them to reach out to us and the industry. And fortunately, a wide platform has HNIs who want to buy art or sell art, has insurance brokers, which are important channel partners for us, and we can help them reach out to their clients. They've got a lot of latent requirements for art insurance. They're not able
Yes.
to deliver because they don't know that a company like ours exists to document and value the collections, which is the precursor for the art insurance. So we have to be available to insurance brokers and educate them. The architects and interior designers on a platform, they need to buy good art, and again, well guided art buyers who come to us to architects become collectors tomorrow. We see a good consumption buyer will become a good collector, and that's the biggest funnel of new art buyers today. Then we're meeting technology entrepreneurs like you there, help us to understand how to integrate technology in the art world. So I think just being in those forums, and obviously Mr. Vikash Peterson, as you know, chairman of IBG, is a great person to know, and just knowing him is enough of a reason to be there. Uh, so I think, and last but not the least, we get a lot of access to consulates, which
Yes.
are important to again expose Indian art to them, and
Yes.
then they also help in coming and inaugurating our shows and building bridges between two nations. And art is a great soft power India has to also unlock. So I think just being there is very, very beneficial to us. We are hoping we are also adding value to the system ecosystem there.
Very true. Very true. So, so friends, be part of IBG. Like IBG is helping Rishiraj to promote art to different individuals, and we are very fortunate to have met Rishi, and we have become very good friends. So now, Rishi, my next question will be: how do you stay updated on current trends and development in this art world?
Uh, I think I'm not trying to boast here, but I think we are the ones who update people about the current trends in the art world. So we better be updated. So I think the answer is that, and we are definitely on the ball of every auction that's happening of Indian art anywhere in the world. Within the same day, our team documents all the auction results. We put them into our tool. We analyze new highs. We analyze changes in value of artists, which we need to do on a daily basis because we are valuing art on a daily basis. So we have to be ahead of the curve and not behind for sure. We are very often predicting what auctions will turn out to be. Very often buyers are coming to us to help them guide them as to where we should bid. So I think we are clearly ahead of the curve on this one point, and we need to be in the nature of work that we are doing.
Very true. Very true. So my last question will be in your professional journey round, which you have answered very well, and it's very insightful round. What are your aspirations, goals for Aura Art, and where do you see Aura Art in 5 years' time?
Lovely. The aspiration for our art is to be the leading institution that is, as I said, holding the art market, an integrated art platform that helps a collector through the entire journey of
Yes.
acquisition, of holding it, of transferring the art, selling it, bequeathing it, a 360-degree platform that will help not only the collector but also add value to the art industry, help galleries, auction houses to follow the best practices, help artists to obviously they are the main fulcrum of the art market and the reason Aura Art was born in the first place to promote the artists to help them to have meaningful lives. So it should be the platform that touches the lives of all art, the whole entire art industry, and is a nerve center for the art industry to flourish as India flourishes on its wealth cycle.
Very interesting. So now we continue our conversation, and let's begin the personal round. So Rishi, how has your early childhood been?
Some people think I'm still a child, so that's fine, including my wife. So early childhood, I started off. Was born in Bombay because my mother's side was my Nanaji were staying in Bombay at that time, and but brought up in Kota, Rajasthan for the first 7 years. Did my schooling up to the second standard there, and then moved to Bombay for my third standard. Been staying in Jew for a long period of time, as I mentioned, Jamnabai, NM. Did my CA, joined Arthur Anderson ENY, and then founded Aura Art. So simplistic 10 year periods, 15 year long stints uh, and quite a easy to understand track record
That's interesting.
journey. I
So
mean,
tell us something about your who is the biggest influencer or supporter from your family?
yes. So I would take the extended family. Obviously, as I mentioned, I followed the system of heartfulness and our guide, then Sri Parthasat Rajagopalachari when I joined, and now Kamlesh Patel, known as Daji, have been great influences on my spiritual life, which I think is very equally important as any other aspect of my life.
Yes.
Doesn't get enough time, but it is important. On the professional journey, I owe a lot to all the teachers. I'm very, very close and proud of the teaching establishment we had. Just happy and lucky to celebrate the 71st birthday of one of our teachers in classes, Bhatia classes, Professor Ashwin Bhatia on April 14th to revive those old memories. So I'm very, very fond of all my teachers. And then in the art business, great mentors we've had. I'm just doing justice to two of them, but there are many more. Nilesh Ganjwala, CEO of Energize Solutions, and Sri Basant Agarwal have been great mentors and pillars to our art. And many more hands have contributed towards making this dream come true.
Very true. Yeah, you need hands and a friend circle. So now coming to my next question will be, uh, what are your favorite hobbies, or besides this art, your interest in life?
I'm clearly a workaholic. So I have lots of hobbies, but I think they're parked for some other life. So obviously, I love to play football. I love dancing. I love singing. I love poetry. I love meditation. But again, I don't know when am I ever going to get time to exhaust that list. But whenever I do time, I'm reasonably intense. When I do get time, uh, including with friends and family, I make sure I do a lot of justice to that time I get. I don't get enough of it for sure, but I think it's a healthy imbalance which I'm happy to maintain.
So, what is your mantra for work life? Because you are in this field, or this very demanding of your work time. So, what do you do to unwind and your mantra for work life balance?
So the meditation practice I follow helps me a lot. And I'm obviously very proud of the fact that I'm a Sikh and belong to a great lineage of a great system and a great philosophy. So whatever time I get through the seva in the Gurdwara and through my journey in the spiritual life, both of that I think keeps me very charged and motivated to face the world. And daily round of meditation in the morning and evening helps to recharge.
That's very interesting. So, you're saying about this heartful meditation. Can you uh, explain what is this heartful meditation, and someone wants to get initiated into this? How does one go about it?
Yes. So, religion is obviously a great starting point. I feel eventually one has to take the best of any religion that they're part of and move towards spirituality, which is the next level of evolution in the journey. I was after some search, and this search was a bother for me right from my early college days. Right in college, right in NM college itself, I had come across heartfulness, then known as the Sahaj Mark system, and it has continued to guide my life in many ways and shape it in a positive manner. Uh, you can actually, heartfulness is offered free of cost around the world, nearly 3 million practitioners now, presence in 160 countries. And my wife and I both are trainers. So you can reach out to any trainer through heartspots.com and reach out and start the practice through 3 initiation sessions. And it's offered free pro bono around the world with a great set of very willing hearts to help.
Wow, that is a, this meditation has, I can see, has kept you in a well balanced way of life. So now, besides this creative interest in art, what are your other creative interests?
Other creative interest is writing poetry, as I said,
Hmm.
and if I'm hoping I see a lot of inspiration from you with the books you've written. For the longest
Thank
period,
you.
I've been pushing one book, which also become two book ideas in my mind. I hope in the next 5 years, at least one book can come out.
It will, it will. So दो पंक्ति हो जाएंगी सर from your ये poems which you have written.
I don't remember much, to be honest. I've written very early in my school college days. The one poem I could sort of put together in the lockdown, uh, if I can remember a line, it says Nanak Jyot Jalaye Kaun. Uh, it starts, I think, with बहुत कम बचे हैं अपने मतलब हमको direction कौन दिखाए, which is that in as the pandemic started, the world was filled with darkness,
Yes, yes,
and we had lost direction.
yes, yes.
Who will show us the jyot? And then obviously taking the example of Baba Nanak, who has enlightened the whole world and brought it together. Uh, this was a yearning from a aspirant to find the light, and he finds the light at the end of the poem.
Very true, very true. So we'll keep you motivating to publish your poetry book. So my support will be there,
The
sir.
book will actually be not on poetry, on some concepts which will be very linked to spirituality. Let's see when it comes.
Okay, wow, another topic. So, any travel place in your bucket list which you would like to fulfill?
Oh, for this year, I have to finish before end of 24, hopefully, a visit to Ayodhya. I have been waiting to do a darshan of Ramlalla since the longest period. And hopefully, following that trip, I'll also end up going to Banaras. I have seen such lovely paintings of Banaras, but that's on my bucket list for the last 15 years. So you can imagine how slow my bucket lists get ticked. So hopefully, Ayodhya soon, and then Banaras immediately after that, hopefully in the same trip.
It will happen, sir. And let's talk about your food interest.
I'm vegetarian, which is surprising for a person of my community, and paneer hogs my diet through and through, which is not good because at 130 kilos, I need to definitely change the way and what I'm eating.
Then, very true, because people are now becoming vegan, and it's by choices or whatever. So now let's continue the conversation. I've been very fortunate. You invited me to this St. Catherine's orphanage, and you give your time to Gurudwara, other community development projects. So how do you manage your time and give balance and what do you say attention over there?
By sleeping less. I guess, as I say, 1 hour of meditation is equal to 4 hours of sleep. That's my
Yes.
wife's favorite line. So I really, I'm banking a lot on that. and but I think these are joyful moments. I don't see that you have to really. It's not a burden on time. Whenever you can, you do it. And I've been doing few initiatives for the longest period of time. So normally don't talk about it, but I'm glad you brought out your visit to St. Catherine's home. It was great to have you there. Again, that as a group, we are continuing for the more than 27 years.
Yes.
So in every initiative, I'm saying whether it's Heartfulness, whether it's that, I've been doing it for long enough, which means that I don't have to really do things just to show that I'm doing it. I can do it with minimal time intervention, and the team effect over time catches up, and many helping hands come. I think it's when you do things consistently and for long enough with the right intentions, it doesn't take too long, and whatever it takes, it's always worth it.
Very true, very true. So my next question will be on passion. So what advice would you give to aspiring startups or individuals to pursue their passion?
Yes. So I think one is that this whole startup mantra has, I think, got overplayed now in India, and I find very nervous when whether it's IIT students or NMIMS students or even my friends from professional firms who come and ask me and say, "Give me an idea that I want to build a business on." I think that's clearly the worst thing to do. Uh, Please build a franchise if you are interested in building an institution which will last way beyond your life. If you found a problem that is large enough to solve, and you have definitely an edge way beyond your means to solve that. If those three things don't come together, it's fine. Do what you're doing. That's fine. Don't waste time in this startup craze, because a lot of time and wealth and initiatives will get destroyed if they are with short-term orientations, without having enough skin in the game, enough expertise, and enough burning understanding of problem and desire to solve it and ability to solve it.
Very beautifully explained. Now my last question for this personal round will be, Uh, Describe Rishi in one line.
A dreamer who's trying to beautify the world and make it more loving and peaceful place. Hopefully, inshallah, the dreams will come true.
Very true. Very, it will. So now, friends, we come to this two rounds and this surprise round, the rapid fire round. So Rishi, you have to answer very quickly and wittily, and for that, you will get this ebook
Lovely.
from niches to riches: the importance of choosing a niche for your business.
Business.
I hope this will add value in your art promotion business. There will be more tips you will get.
I'm sure.
Uh, Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Your favorite artist?
Vrindavan Solanki.
Okay. Uh, your favorite book?
The Prophet by Khalil Gibran.
Wow. Favorite movie?
Omar Mukhtar.
Your favorite quote?
बस्ती बसना खेल नहीं है, बसते बसते बसती है.
Wow. Morning or night person?
Night person, which I want to change very badly.
Okay. Your favorite cuisine?
Paneer tikka.
So, so friends, he answered very wittily. So he's getting this ebook. So autographed by me.
Lovely. It's a pleasure and honor to have this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, friends, this was a lovely conversation which we had with Rishi at his Aura Gallery. There was wonderful insights he shared of art investment and adding, becoming an art collector. So many insights. Do watch this episode on the Coffee Corner show. You will get to learn and visit his upcoming exhibition and be part to follow Rishi. So any art collector or investor or any corporate, please connect with him. You have to build up your art investments and document your art, which is very necessary, and ensure your art. He's the right person. Very few people like him are there in this niche area of art creation, valuing your art. He is a person. So, friends, we look forward to another coffee conversation episode with another guest speaker. So, stay tuned and enjoy your day. Thank you.